just your average Barbie collector next door. Everybody has a neighbor like me, right? Some people might enjoy it, some might not. Anyway, here I am to tell you more about how to start your collection. And of course, I love Barbie collecting, and I don't mind if you know how I did it, because honestly, the more the merrier. Come join me, it's super fun. But I have all of the Holiday Barbies starting from 1988 when they began. Having the first in a series is a big deal because normally people don't realize that they want to collect that series until one or two of them have come out. So let's say that you decide on the third doll, oh shoot, I wanted to collect that series. Well, now I got to go back and find the first and second doll. So often the most value is in the first and second dolls of any series, and then owning the whole series is a big deal because once you own the whole series, it's kind of like Monopoly. If you own all of them, well, now your value has just skyrocketed because you've got all of them. So this is the 1988 Holiday Barbie. I did not start with the Holiday Barbie, well, not the 1988. I started with the 1998 Holiday Barbie, so I was a decade in that had already made 10 dolls before I received one and was like, wow, I love these. So then I had a problem because I realized a few years later that I was missing the dolls from the first decade of Holiday Barbies. So now here I am on eBay. And if you've ever been on eBay before, you know it's quite competitive. It can be difficult to know if you're getting a good deal or not. And at this time, I didn't realize like how difficult eBay would be as a means to collect. And so I was still willing to use it. I have built large pieces of my collection via eBay, but it has not been without its problems. Like shopping on eBay, one time I received 2 collector dolls. It was a Marine Corps Barbie and Ken. They were in their case, but the person had wrapped them in gift wrap. Not like bubble wrap. We're talking like just your average Christmas wrapping paper, and then shipped them that way. So you can imagine, I mean, Barbies are not the sturdiest things. These cases are valuable to collectors. So I want the case to be in pristine condition. And when it left their house, it may have been. But by the time it arrived at my house, it was absolutely crushed. Like the Christmas wrapping was barely hanging on to the box. Of course, the dolls were in okay condition, but the box destroyed to smithereens. So basically I had just wasted my money on that. So over the years, I have stopped shopping on eBay for my collector's dolls unless I just absolutely can't live without it and the person has an incredible rating. So now I try to find all of my Barbies at thrift stores, yard sales, antique stores. Hopefully somebody gives me a Barbie or two and it's still in the box, which does happen. Once you start collecting Barbies, people will maybe have like 1 or 2 and they don't know what to do with them. And honestly, 1 or 2 are not going to be worth that much. It's not until you start to really grow your collection that now you actually have something of value. Like 1 or 2 dolls, like the 1959 Barbie. Now, you got one of those, you're in a really good spot. But yeah, and then the other thing is collectibles are only worth what a collector will pay. If the market tanks, like if our economy tanks, people are not going to be out there trying to buy collector Barbies, collector dolls. So there's a lot of factors in collecting. I won't go into all of those. Let me just focus on Barbies. So this is a 1988 Holiday Barbie. She's the first in the series, which makes her the most valuable because people didn't realize they wanted her until they got to, you know, like in my case, 1998, and now I'm left to go find 10 years worth of Barbie dolls. And I'm looking for quality cases and how many antique stores can I go to? You know, I mean, I've spent years going to antique stores and I have never seen another 1988 Holiday Barbie until yesterday, which I'm about to show you. Regardless, okay, so I get this one from eBay. She was in a giant box of dolls. The shipper shipped all the dolls in one package. Like, we're not talking like bubble wrapped them. No. We're talking like 15 Barbies, one big box, just throw them all in there, around there, okay? But either way, it did not leave the dolls in the best scenario to travel. So this Barbie arrives. I was super mad because I spent like $400 on all these dolls and then they weren't in the best condition by the time they got here. But I still ended up with the 1988 Holiday Barbie. So I was glad about that. So here she is. Some things to look for when you're collecting. You want to look for the integrity of the case. Notice that this doll, the plastic is inverted. Over time, it has fallen in. It's probably come off. This doll has been taken out of the box and then put back in, obviously for value purposes. You can tell by her hair. You can tell by the fact that she has a green twist tie around her waist. Of course, I did not know that when I placed my order on eBay, which is why I would steer away from eBay and things like that, because you don't know the condition of what you're getting. So she came with the back, had obviously been tampered with. I did not place this tape here. This tape was already here, where they had obviously taken her out and then put her back in. Now, granted, at least she was complete. She had her shoes, she has a stand, and the box did come with her. So she is still of value to me because she is the first in the series and she's in pretty good condition. So when I'm going to an antique store and I'm looking for Barbie dolls, I'm looking for a few things. I'm looking for their smell. Like, do they have smoke damage? Have they been in a home where people have been smoking? No offense to you if you like to smoke, if that's your thing, but it'll ruin your Barbie collection because Barbies are fabric and they just absorb those scents. And so as a collector, I can tell right away if I am about to purchase a doll that's from a home where people have been smoking. And it's a simple test. You just put your nose right up to it and you smell it. And so I steer away from smoke damaged dolls. I steer away from dolls that have tampered boxes, like this box, for example. Sometimes people will take the dolls out for a period of time. Then the dolls become sun damaged because windows were open. And like, for example, in the location that I'm coming to you from, where I have my Barbie collection, I have curtains on all the windows so that my dolls cannot be damaged by the sun. So people will take them out and display them for years and then put them back in and then decide, you know what, I'm going to sell these. Well, the value of that doll has just gone down because it's sun damaged. Sometimes they're dusty, so something to watch for to tell if a doll has been removed is if there is dirt on the interior of the box. It means the doll has been removed from the box. And then water damage. Of course, it happens where people's collections get wet for whatever reason, and then they have water damage on their dolls. So there's a lot of different ways that the value of a doll can go down. At the same time, if it's a doll that you've been looking for years and it has sentimental value to you and you find it, but the box is messed up or it smells like smoke, does it matter? If you love the doll and you want the doll and you finally find it, I would say buy it. If it's a reasonable price and it means something to you, it's worth it. Because that's how I do my collection. I'm not thinking about money because honestly, how would I even sell them? It's hard. But what I'm thinking about is just my love for the dolls. And the dolls that I collect, I only collect lines that I really love and dolls that I really love. If I don't love that doll, I don't collect it. Because there's just too many. I would have like tens of thousands of Barbies if I was just collecting every single Barbie, which some people have the money and space to do that. I'm not one of those. So this is the Barbie I found yesterday, y'all, at an antique store. I paid $100. This is the real deal. She is the real 1988 Holiday Barbie. Now, you might be saying, why in the world would you pay $100 for a doll that has clearly been opened? Okay, yes, she has been opened. She does not have the plastic piece on the top. She does not have the plastic piece on the bottom. But here's the thing. First of all, I smelled her. She's not smoke damaged. Here's the other thing. Look at her back. She has not been opened. Okay, this doll, even though the top and the bottom have their problems, obviously the plastic has come off. Nobody sat here and took her out. The seams, I'm looking for the seams back here and the bending of the cardboard, and she's not bent. So the other thing that's quite nice about her is that she doesn't have any kind of writing on here on the tag. Now, of course, there is a price tag on her. I may or may not tear that off, depending on if I feel that it'll come off cleanly or not. I have some other Barbies that have some price tags on them, and I feel like it would have done more damage to the box to peel them off than to leave them on. But notice her hair. Notice the weaving of her hair. That is a big deal because she has obviously not left this box, which is a big deal. So I was ecstatic when I found her for $100 with no water damage, no smoke damage, not having been removed from the box, and I found her in person. That's the biggest piece here that I want to impress upon you, is that when you find a doll in person, sometimes it's worth knowing you're spending a little more to get the doll and know the condition of it than to wait and try to find it on eBay, and then lo and behold, you can never find it, or you never truly get the condition of the doll that you want via eBay. And so I would say my advice would be, if you find a doll that you love, that you've been looking for, and maybe the condition is not absolute perfection, but you can look at it and evaluate it, it's worth buying that doll than trying to find the doll later online. Those are just my thoughts. So this has been hopefully an informational video about how to build your collection and kind of what to stay away from. If I think of more things, I'll add them in later videos, and I'll come up with a theme for those and revisit these. So I hope this helps, because nobody told me these things. I learned them the hard way. All right, well, happy collecting.